This is question number 3 of practice homework 4, problem 12-2. This is actually the same question as question number 2 of this practice homework, but this question requires you to use Excel to solve the same question. And if you start a question, you can see the instructions. All answers must be entered as a formula. So that means you cannot use outside tools and figure out the answer and then put the final answer into the box of this question, because the question will only accept formula and correct inputs as the final answer. This is actually a question about how to use Excel to calculate the cost of debt. So I just want to use this as an example to show you how to do that. This firm is trying to determine its cost of debt. The firm has a debt issue outstanding with 18 years to maturity that is quoted at 107% of face value. The issue makes semi-annual payments and has an embedded cost of 6% annually. What is the company's pre-tax cost of debt? And if the tax rate is 35%, what is the after-tax cost of debt? So the pre-tax cost of debt is simply the yield to maturity. So the focus of this question is actually about how to use Excel to calculate this yield to maturity given the information as in this table here. So we can use the so-called yield function, YIELD. And if you enter equals yield and then open parentheses, you can see this function has many arguments. First one is the settlement. This means the settlement date, and we can just click on this. So it's D5, and the second argument here is the maturity. This means the maturity date. Just click on D6 and go on. The third one is the rate. So this is the coupon rate. So we just enter 6%, D8. So using the yield function, you don't have to consider the frequency of the payment, because one of the inputs here actually is the frequency. So we just need to input the annual coupon rate here. And the fourth argument here is PR. This stands for the price. And we can enter this as a percent of the face value, which is 107 here. And redemption here means by maturity, how much will the bondholders get. And that's simply the face value. So we can enter that as 100. Why it's not 1,000? Because we have entered the price in 107. So that's 107% of the face value. So if we enter the face value to be, the redemption value to be 1,000, then we actually need to enter the price also as 107% of that, which is 170. But here, since we entered the price as 107, so we also need to enter the redemption as 100 rather than 1,000, even though we know that in general the face value of most bonds is $1,000. But this won't change as long as their percentage keep the same. 7 keep the same. This won't change the final answer. So the third, the next argument is the frequency. So that means the payments per year. So just enter this D9, and I think we can finish this. Close this parenthesis, and so you can see this is correct. And this is pre-tax cost of the debt. which is the yield to maturity. And after-tax cost of debt is simply the pre-tax cost of debt times 1 minus the tax rate. Tax rate is here. So far I have followed the requirement of this question to only input the formula rather than, for example, if I input this as 35% here, then I won't get the correct answer. You can see that. But if I enter this as pre-tax cost of debt and times 1 minus the formula, which is D10, then you can see I can get the correct answer. Yeah, we have completed this question. So I hope that by using this question as an example, I've shown you how to use this yield function in Excel and how to follow the instructions of the Connect Excel questions to only input formulas, do not hard code values. So if you hard code values, even though your numbers may look correct, but it will not be marked as correct in Connect.